to order. So the vision of the Village of Valemount is striving for a vibrant and balanced community, and our mission is to serve the community and embrace opportunity. So let's see if we can do that tonight. The adoption of the agenda. Any additions or deletions? Okay. Just one thing for me. We're expecting Sergeant Warochello. And if council would be so kind as allow us to slip him in if he gets here. Sure. And we'll just make accommodation for that after that item. That'd be great. Okay, so move seconded. All in favor? Great. Adoption of the previous minutes. Any additions, deletions to the May 28th?
Page 4. Resolution 198. I was not opposed to the street vendor bylaw. So I'd like that taken out, please.
Okay. Interesting. I watched the tape on that and it said, like, the conversation was, do you want to be recorded as opposed?
Not to the street vendors, no?
Not to this.
Okay. Oh, I see. Good.
That's for another item.
Claro. Okay. Excellent. Good. And so with that correction, any other corrections or significant deletions, omissions?
Not that I saw.
Good. Show. Councillor Blanchette, Councillor Salt. All in favor? Right on. Moving along. Delegations, we'll get back to this when we're able to. Is those big footsteps?
Yeah, it's him.
Welcome.
How you doing?
Very well. Sergeant Warochello, we were just talking about you, and you walk into the room and you're up.
Well, there you go. Well, hello to everyone. I've met many of you already, but for those who know me, I'm Sergeant Warochello. I've taken over now as the new amalgamated Robson Valley Regional RCMP. And I thought I'd stop by tonight and just introduce myself, make sure you guys have a face to go with the name when you hear it, or phone, or talk to me, or whatever the case may be. And if you had any questions with respect to how the new structured unit is going to work. So I don't know if you guys, I sat down with Mr. McCracken here the other day. We had lunch, and it was a fairly productive meeting. We kind of talked about where we can go and what the vision is for community policing and involvement with the detachment here in the community. I guess the best place to start is kind of talk about where we were and now where we are and where we hope to go in the sense of the new blended unit. It used to be there was obviously a detachment here in Valemount and a detachment in McBride, and the two kind of ran completely autonomously. And Valemount was broken up into two sections as well. There was a general duty section and there was a traffic section. The model works well because there is a need for traffic services and there is a need for general duty policing. And as you move into much bigger centers like Prince George or Kamloops, there's even more specified units or specialty units. You have a major crime unit, you have a dog unit, you have a street crew, you have community policing offices. In small towns, of course, that all falls just on the shoulders of the general duty policing. And what they were finding was, with the policing model set up having a 3-man traffic unit and a 3-man GD unit, it was spreading the GD guys a little thin, and there was a little bit of more room for more interaction with the community and better deployment of resources. And that's where they decided to bring the sergeant's position back to the Robson Valley and amalgamate the two offices. So my role, we actually eliminated or absorbed the traffic unit. So the traffic unit in town here doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, did you just say you eliminated the traffic unit?
Well, and on paper.
That is rad. That's a good first step. I just want to know.
Yeah,
no.
It's and so we've just say eliminated them, we've absorbed them. And what's going to happen is the way the new unit's going to be structured is there's been a position created in McBride as well. So instead of having 3 police officers in McBride, they have 4. So that will allow better officer safety, and that will allow for more presence in the community and on the highway. And then by putting my position here, it'll do the same thing. It'll allow for more community involvement and more presence in the community and more presence on the highway. My job is between both units. I'll be traveling back and forth. Most of my time will be here in Valemount, probably on average 4 days a week, maybe 3.5 days a week, and then I'll be in McBride 1 to 2 days a week, depending on what is needed in the community and where current issues or hot topics are on the go. The members here now, because they're not tunneled into that one, traffic enforcement banner or general duty banner, they're going to be doing the whole scope of policing, and that will include community policing in the schools, responding to calls to service, and also we still have to maintain, obviously we have a huge crash corridor here through Robson Park between the Alberta border and Prince George and down to Blue River. And that is going to be one of our mandates. So we're back to being a straight general duty unit, but we will have a strong traffic presence and a traffic focus, as it were. So most of the members will be expected to spend a certain percentage of their time, other duties permitting, on the highway and doing the traffic enforcement with the goal of reducing our crash picture. The guys aren't out there to write tickets for the sake of writing tickets. I shouldn't say no one likes doing that, there's probably a few people that do, but no one here likes doing it, but it is part of their job, and it is unfortunately one of the most effective ways to slow people down and ultimately save lives and cut down on ICBC insurance costs and all that other good stuff. We talked a bit about some of the stuff we'll be doing in the schools. We've got a reading program already going underway at the preschool, and previous places I've been, we've worked with the schools doing DARE. I'm actually a DARE instructor. I'm a mountain bike instructor. We've talked about possibly bringing in next summer a bike patrol. Very good for community policing. It allows people to walk up to the police officers. They're much more accessible on the bikes than they are in their cars, and the bikes aren't with radar units, so. The bike rodeos, that type of stuff. We've also done a lot of work in the schools with supervising noon hour intramurals and just being involved with the kids. And ultimately, if you get more involved with the youth in a positive way at an earlier age, then it makes for a much better working relationship as they go through high school and adulthood and everywhere else. So that's kind of what the units used to look like and what they look like now. With respect to actual officer presence, the amalgamation won't affect the number of officers that are in the town. For instance, the Valemount members won't go to McBride to do policing or vice versa unless we're rescheduling them for special events like the rodeo in Valemount. We need extra bodies in town, then we'll maybe bring a McBride member in. But it'll always be enhancing where the needs are as opposed to kind of pulling members to cover needlessly type thing.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where we're heading with it, but I'm always open to have anyone stop by the office at any time and sit down with me if you have further questions and go over that. Other than that, myself, I think the school district was happy to see me. I brought 4 kids to town. They're in the fall, they'll be in kindergarten, grade 2, grade 7, and grade 9. So I probably brought the school population up by 10% on my own. They're, my wife and I, we've been married for 18 years now. She's originally from 100 Mile House, so we're actually quite happy to be here in Valemount. For those that don't know how it all works, they don't actually just ship us arbitrarily places. We get to pick and choose where we get to go, and we chose to come here, so we're here by choice. We want to make Valemount our home, we want to be involved in the community, and we want to see it be everything it can be.
Excellent.
So, like I said, we'll work in the future at some other projects that maybe we can help out with and build a good community spirit. I mentioned we're going to have an open house on Thursday, June 27th. Everyone's invited. There'll be some bulletins coming out in the newspapers. It'll be from 4 to 7 p.m. And we're actually going to be hosting a community barbecue where the food will be on the Queen. Come down for burgers and hot dogs, and the whole community is invited to come. There'll be an ad in the paper. We're hoping, I've talked to Mayor McCracken already, and he's agreed to come help do some of the cooking, and that invitation's open to all the councillors to attend and help flip burgers. It'll be an opportunity for the community to come and meet some of the new bodies we have in town, or some of the old bodies that have returned. Constable Krasnowski, who was very happy to be back here after, I think, 12 years was the last time he was here. He enjoyed his time, so Kent's very happy to be back in town. The other new constable that's coming to town from Chetwynd is actually in town today with his girlfriend and small child. They're just touring the community and seeing a better look. They'll be here full-time starting in about 4 weeks.
Great.
And then we'll be back up to snuff. Everyone knows Corporal Prosser has retired, I'm sure. He is, after 27 years with the RCMP, he has accepted a job with the CN Police, so he'll be staying in the community and working out of Jasper, but he'll be missed at the office. We don't know when his replacement will be named yet. There's some internal job postings that have to go out with respect to that. But back to the open house, it's going to be, like I said, June 27th from 4 to 7 p.m. And we're hoping to have, we've got confirmed now, a K9 unit from Prince George coming to do search demos and bike demos and takedown demos. The traffic unit's coming out. We're trying to secure the rollover simulator to show people the benefit of seat belts and how they actually hold people in as opposed to seeing the little dummy get flung out of the car. We'll also have our recruiting officers there, our dispatch people will be there, search and rescue will be there. We will have our forensic identification section, which for American TV lingo is the CSI people. So they'll be doing some activities with the kids and fingerprinting and that type of stuff. And we'll also be handing out through our victim service workers ID cards for young kids, should they ever be abducted or go missing. Mm-hmm. And I think that's most of the people we have on the agenda for the open house. And basically we'll have the cell block area open, we'll have some of our other little toys on display, our snowmobiles, our ATVs, and basically the public will be able to interact with the entire detachment and take some tours of the office and meet all the members and find out hopefully that we're just people too.
Okay. That's great.
Wow.
We've been waiting to hear from you, from bated breath when we heard about, I think we heard about your placement maybe, or tell of it probably a year ago, and maybe 6 months ago, maybe, or 4 months ago you were chosen, and then we were, so.
Yeah, November was the official.
There you go.
The email.
So there you go. So that's great. It's great to see it shape up, and I think council pretty much, I think we're on the same note, is that the strong community policing aspect, and we really like that. And I mean, I think the threat for everybody was that we were going to be a traffic detachment with general duty done off the side desk, and it just didn't seem right, although of course the highway is incredibly important to keep it safe, and you have to put a lot of resources there, but we really, our perspective of course is a community.
A valid concern, and I assure you that won't be the case. You'll see, hopefully, from what it's been in the past, is more involvement. So
great.
That's the goal, at least.
Excellent. And I think from our conversation, I think you just mentioned a small sliver of some of the things that are going on, or pretty high-level highlights. But it sounds like there's lots of good work planned, and especially the stuff of getting in touch with our youth and getting in there.
I apologize for missing the meeting there last month. Unfortunately, we had an incident that we had to deal with that evening and I couldn't attend. But I would like to come back at a night of your choosing when I could maybe have about 20 minutes. I have a small little video presentation I'd like to make to you guys. It's done up by our headquarters unit, and it basically gives a glimpse of, although you see, myself and old Kent running around town here type thing, and there's the traffic cops writing tickets. It gives you an idea of what happens if something serious really does go on in the community, what resources are behind us should we need them. And most people are quite shocked when they see it to realize that, oh, we didn't know this, and this, and it talks about all our different units and our sections that are only a phone call away if things really go sideways.
Okay.
Now take about 20 minutes, so just let me know what night works for council, and
we'll get administration to give you a call, and set that up. Yeah.
The other commitment we talked about was I'll make sure Mayor and Council has quarterly reports just on what's been happening with the detachment and what we're involved in, and then you guys can review that, and if there's anything that is something you'd like to see enhanced further, or something you say, you guys are wasting your time on that, by all means come let us know, and we can sit down and have that conversation and make sure we're pushing this towards what's best for Valemount.
Good.
Excellent.
Any questions from anyone?
Welcome to our
welcome to you
town.
and your family very much.
Glad to be here. We actually wanted to come to Valemount years ago when we were out of Houston, but I had Valemount and Mackenzie on my list, and the RCMP saw fit to send me to Mackenzie, so we enjoyed our time there as well. Now we're
Right on, right on.
I
Welcome.
do have to, I can't stay unfortunately, I've got
Yeah.
some other stuff coming. We actually have the commanding officer of E Division, Craig Callens, Deputy Commissioner Craig Callens will be here tomorrow, very briefly, just passing through town, so we're just prepping for his visit, and hopefully things will go well.
Right on. Did you want us to do anything?
I think we're good. It's such short time. It's he's just like
No, I know,
passing
I
through.
know.
So otherwise,
I think we could stage something, and you could take us down or something, or I don't know. Just make it look good, because he's here. Yeah.
No, perfect.
Okay.
Right on.
Having a tabletop tomorrow.
Thanks for your time.
Okay, thanks so much. All right. Excellent.
Receive the dog.
Okay, so let's move receipts on that. Okay, and all in favor of receipt? Excellent, great. Boy, that's just a hint of what's coming, eh? No unfinished business, the next agenda item. We move down to correspondence for action. We got the tourism Valemount minutes of their regular committee meeting, and I think, yeah, there's a resolution here that we adopt the tourism committee's budget for the 2% tax. Is that-
I can't vote on that, can I?
No, that's right. You sit on that committee.
Yes,
Okay.
as the business.
That's correct.
Okay, sure.
I just have one question. So this has already been approved by the tourism committee?
Yeah, we had our meeting 2 weeks ago, no, last week. And we went through the budget for the actual and the budget for 2012. And then we changed some of the numbers. Just, for example, we upped our brochures a little bit, hoping to partner maybe with Varda in the future and doing some ATV stuff. We talked about television and social media, which was working with VCTV. Do you mind if I tell you about what we talked
no,
no,
Oh,
about?
that's great. Yeah.
Working with VCTV and then Facebook with the social media, just maybe doing some advertising in there, as opposed to doing a lot of the print advertising, maybe switching over to today's world with advertising. And upped the photography part of it, the photos and the photographers a little bit, I think by $1,000. So we just moved money around, basically, is what we did. We had $77,000 left over from 2012 to 2013, so which allowed us to increase the budget a little bit on the advertising and the marketing that we're going to do for Tourism Valemount. We upped the trade shows also a little bit, only because the travel costs have gone up since last year, a little bit for mileage and per diems. So we upped that, I think it was $3,000. And we also put in a section with sponsorship on events and other, just to hopefully get involved in some of the existing events that are going on in the village, and being a huge part of hopefully making them more successful, or not having them struggle as much as they have in the past.
Awesome.
So when we went through all the numbers, basically we just moved everything around, and then we just tacked some money on, hoping that this year is going to be higher in revenue for the 2% marketing tax, and we're anticipating that. So.
And just for clarity again, just because we say 2% tax and whatever else, this is based on revenue of the hotels, and that's
Right.
and so when you say you're hoping for more inflow, that means more hotel rooms and more
Right.
people staying.
It's all the 2% comes directly back to this committee. So every hotel that collects it, and B&Bs aren't included, every nickel comes back to us, and then the province matches that by 1%, and the 1% is used for infrastructure and events. So that's not even a part of this budget at all.
I just found one little thing under the travel costs. It just looks like maybe a glitch in the formulas on the spreadsheet, because there's just an error transposition from that's budgeted, what's actual and what's remaining. There's just a difference there, so that just needs to be fixed, but otherwise everything else looked good.
Okay. I'm not sure if we want to take that step of, it's really nice that they operate at arm's length, so we'll just alert them to it. But why don't we just go with their recommendation, because we don't want to.
That's all.
And the reason that we present this to council is so if we have something that we need to pay or that we decide to do, that every decision that's made by the tourism council or committee doesn't come back to council for council to make the ultimate decision.
Yeah.
So,
And we do see those occasional ones where something's new
Right.
that comes back through us.
but we're hoping we covered everything just looking over the last few years, that we won't have to come back to council for any approvals.
Okay. So the heart of that is, let's accept the recommendation?
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay. And then all in favor, just us three voting, and we'll just note that Christine's abstaining from that. Okay, and the next one is VARTA, 6.2, is asking for a letter of support for ATV, regarding ATV tourism in the Valemount area. And the recommendation, I really like the letter that was sent, the recommendation here from staff is that council approves staff to write a letter to support user education, promotion of sustainable riding areas and practices, and the development of trail management options in cooperation with rec sites and trails. And take the tiger by the tail. It's a really naughty issue, so it's nice to see VARTA get on it, because we just can't ignore it. Got to do something with it. It's not easy, not clear who does what, but it's got to start somewhere, I guess. So I'll move that. Okay. And you're on VARTA as well, is that, how are we doing this?
I'm on VARTA for council.
As counselor, okay. Right. Okay, excellent, seconded. All in favor, great. Good. Any discussion regarding that one, or I sort of move through that one fast? If not, we'll move on to the reading file. We've got a couple items on there. I want to check in 7.2, is that from Lanceville?
That's correct.
Just wondering if you could fill us in, because either I missed a meeting that this was brought up, or I just wasn't familiar with
You know,
this.
it kind of just happened. So a friend of mine actually is from UBCM. A friend of mine is Councillor Jennifer Milbank from Lanceville. And so I just happened to meet her at UBCM. And she let me know that just after the young woman drowned from at Swift Current Creek, that it was a lady from her community who did. And so she said, hey, I've got this family that's coming up, and I don't know if there's anything you can do, but if there is, you know, it'd be nice to have a point of contact there. And so I sort of called the office, sketched out, and the office staff helped find accommodation. So actually, it was actually Claude and Elka Germain who just offered their place for free. First place we called, they just said, oh yeah, absolutely, have them here. And then, yeah, just little things. And then I did a little bit of coordination. Actually, mostly Jennifer Quam, the victim service coordinator, did a really good job with it. But helped us do a little coordination with getting them in touch with the people who are here. And oh, terrible thing, terrible thing. But at any rate, we offered a little support that we can. And the Lanceville ladies sent a really nice gift pack for us. Sorry, was that incorrect?
I'm not sure, but I think it was Lanceville Council, wasn't it?
The Lanceville Council. Okay, send that box. Okay. I just presume they're all ladies. All right. Woo. Anyways, thanks for asking. That's good. Motion to accept the reading file? Okay. So we'll consider that moved and seconded and everything, the whole bits. Administrator reports. We've got an application for development variance to build a double garage. And I'll let staff get us into that one.
Oh goodness, help me with her name again, please.
Hiska Girding.
There you go. Ms. Girding wants to build a garage, and her garage is not an excessive size, but her house is a very small house, and so technically, her garage would, she was
Fit
under...
inside her garage.
She was under the understanding that her garage was oversized. Because it's still less than 10% of the total parcel area of her property, technically it does not, but she also wants one that's over height. To be fair, we have a very restrictive height requirement on our, for garages on our zoning bylaws. A number of builders have told me that it's really difficult to get a pitch that sheds snow onto a garage, onto a double garage here, unless the zoning would be appropriate to a single garage, but she's hoping for more than a single garage, so it's going to be a little bit over height, but not very much. At this point, all we're asking for is permission to take this through the development variance process.
She's going to remove the other buildings that she's got on the back part of the property? Because
There's a little garage there right
there's a
now.
couple of buildings there.
In the,
It's a garden shed.
Yep, and then there's another, I went and looked at the property on the way over.
Excuse me.
And she's sitting in a nice place because she's offset from the seniors, so there's nobody really in the back to block a view or anything.
I'm not sure about that. She doesn't talk about that. I'm just looking at the footprint as to where the garage is, whether that, you may know better whether that would be in the same location as the garden shed.
okay, well, we take it through this incredibly rigorous process of,
Yeah.
you know, advertising and everything. Everybody gets to poke it, you know, poke it with a stick, so,
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we get staff to continue on down the road.
okay, right on.
I'll second it.
Okay, and all in favor? Okay, next we're moving on to Development Variance Permit 0313. This is 8.2, page 32 to 40. So this is a file we've had quite a bit of work on. The recommendation is, this is the staff recommendation. Okay, I'm unclear. When I prepped for this, I thought that these two composed one.
No, they don't. Those are the two options, but the
Okay.
second option is what is being recommended.
Okay, well, I'll read out the recommended option and we can jam on that. Actually, what I'll do is I'll propose it as a, I'll move it. That council approve a 2-year extension to DVP 0311 and establish conditions of use during the extension with the owner. And, yeah, and, yeah, if you don't mind seconding the motion, or if I
Yeah,
could get it.
sure.
Yeah, okay.
So by going that route, if my recollection of development variance permits, they are allowed, because we've already done an initial one for 2 years, and if we do this 2-year extension, is that it, or are they able to apply for one more 2-year extension? I can't quite recall.
I think with the DVP you can go more.
Okay.
It's the temporary use permits where you can.
Okay, okay.
And I guess the idea is, it might be to the village's benefit, the conversations that I've had with staff is to establish conditions of use. So that makes it better for the surrounding neighbors and stuff to make sure, like how the property is being used. So the structure is there. We understand it's not going to be built on really quickly. But in the meantime, let's see if we can work something out with them to make it less of a drain on us and the neighbors.
How will it be policed?
Some of the conditions of use would be one-time things such as putting a cap on the outdoor sewer outlet that it currently exists so that it cannot be used as a sandy dump and those sorts of conditions. It's going to be really difficult to put in conditions that are going to require regular policing, so we're going to be looking for ones that aren't going to be too difficult to ensure that they're upheld. We take those conditions back to council
So if they park an RV on the property, then it's up to the neighbors to contact the village?
Until we have RV legislation, we're going to need to, yeah. But that's one of the first things that's coming to the APC as well, RV legislation, so.
Okay.
Okay, further discussion on this one? Okay. Yeah. Sometimes you're not left with a great option that everybody's excited about. You just go with what you got, I guess. All in favor? Okay. The Integrated Community Sustainability Plan. There is a sheet, it's in the agenda, that council approves the ICSP summary sheet, Valemount's future. You have a mover for that? Okay, Councillor Latimer,
I'll second it.
Councillor Blanchette.
Your worship,
Yeah.
there's some copies of it at the back that the public is welcome to if they like.
Okay, great. There's copies of this sheet at the back. So it sort of gives you a map. I think it actually does a good job of getting the work of that group onto one page. I prefer this to the 87-page document. Value for money there. But people don't want to sell you a one-page doc. They're like, yeah, this thing's gonna be like 87 pages, man. Okay, sorry. It's on the table. All in favor? Great. Okay, the 2012 annual report. That council received the staff report on the 2012 annual report for information only. It's the actual report, right? Yes.
The report itself.
Yeah. A little awkward there. Okay, so just received for Councillor Latimer, Councillor Blanchette, all in favor? Great.
Your worship.
Yeah.
Once again, that report's available on our website and there's some copies of it.
Okay, and-
Or in the village office.
Right on. And council, do you have any input that you have on that? We've got a time to factor that in. And we can kickstart the public process. The annual report is at the back table. You can take a look and see. It's kind of a catalog of some of the stuff that's been happening for the last year. I guess it's really the calendar year of 2012, but it has far-reaching implications into this year, and yeah. And of course, the stuff that actually happened in 2012 was probably planned in 2010 or earlier, so yeah, anyways. Good report though, kind of a little bit different than our previous, the way that it is, the format. So what did I do with that? Do we have a motion? Have we got?
It's information only.
It's done. Okay, good. I participated in Loggers Boards 2 days ago and I'm still recovering. As is my competition. Yeah, they didn't know what was coming. Okay, so we have an Economic Development Officer report, the monthly report for May 2013. I wonder if Gord could slice in some actual footage of me falling down a pole during into the council meeting, just to liven things up a little bit. Okay, anyways, sorry, Economic Development Officer report. We've got a monthly report for May 2013. We've got it on the floor. Councillor Salt, Councillor Blanchette. Comments on that? If not, we'll just all in favor? Great. We'll move along then. The Public Works report. So we'll move on to, is there a building inspector report? I think if there is, it's Steve's this is his last one?
That's what you said last.
I know, like, no, 3 times running. I've been like, oh, this is the best one yet.
Yes.
Okay. Good, okay.
He had committed to 4 days of overlap.
Yeah, that's right. No, that makes a lot of sense.
I'll make a motion to receive the last building report by Steve Barnes.
All right, thank you. All in favor? Great. Okay. Okay. Moving on to section 13 here, financial report. We have accounts payable, pages 48 to 53. I'll move that we put that on the table, that we accept the accounts, and get Councillor Latimer to second it. Discussion, anything that arose? Okay, all in favor? Great. Up to 14, bylaws and policies. 14.1, temporary street vendor bylaw. There's a staff recommendation here that council approves fourth and final reading of bylaw 696, 2013, temporary street vendor bylaw. You want to move that? Get that on. Councillor Latimer, Councillor Salt.
Your worship,
Yeah.
just before adopting, you may want to point out that we've added the exceptions.
Yeah, absolutely. My feeling, so we'll just have some conversation on this. My feeling is that the section on exceptions really is a good opportunity. Like, we're doing a temporary bylaw here. So the idea is it'll give us an opportunity to try some different things. It is a temporary one. It's not for forever. And further, the exceptions, the way that they're worded here, it's like if it's going outside the scope of the current bylaw, it seems to be that it's just like a one-time use. So it's like, okay, you want to do it, you know, you want to serve food up until 1 o'clock or whatever. Let's try it once. Let's not make it a whole summer of crazy, and we'll just see what the implications are. If it's not, you know, if it's not that bad, if it's, you know, we can, it'll help us form a really good opinion of what a real vendor bylaw looks like, I think.
We're gonna find out what works and what doesn't and what needs to be changed and fixed, and it's a good system.
It's gonna be learning for
Yep.
both us and the vendors.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay, excellent. So, we've got it to second reading. A further discussion, or it's fourth and final? Let's go. All in favor? Great. Okay, section 15, council reports. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
First of all, I'd like to have a big thank you for our public works staff. They did a really great job getting us ready for our sport day, and it turned out really well. I hear you chopped your way and climbed your way through it. And I'd also like to thank tourism for their donation. We got a brand new banner on their behalf. And what did I do? I did a Canoe Valley Rec Center meeting and I wasn't aware that the rec center's open during the summer, so it's open during the summer. I had a VCTV meeting. I believe we're doing a visioning exercise next week. And I had a library meeting. And on that note, Saturday from 11 to 3, our library is having a book and bake sale, so everybody come out and support the library if you can. And I think that was it.
Right on. Okay, who wants to go next?
I will.
Okay.
I attended the regular monthly VARDA meeting, and now the RFPs for Crystal Ridge have been closed, so be moving ahead on doing the final 2 runs.
Right
for
on.
Crystal Ridge, yeah, pretty exciting. The tourism budget and regular monthly meeting, attended that on the 4th, and we've decided to replace the welcome signs north and south into the village because they're rotting very badly, and we've got the money for the infrastructure, so that's new. And Jennifer's preparing for the geocaching event, and that's coming along really well. And then attended the VGD meeting on the 5th, which was very short and sweet. Okay, that's all I've done.
Okay, I attended the second Chamber of Commerce Business After Business that was held upstairs at our visitor center. And at the time that I was there, it was quite busy and very well received. So I think this is an event that we're going to see more and more businesses participating in, and I think it's just really well I think it's learning what else is available. Like I was meeting other businesses there that I wasn't aware of or didn't know what all they provided. So it's a great avenue for all the businesses in the community to get together and collaborate and share what they do, what they have available for other people. So it was really great. Attended a library meeting, as Councillor Blanchette mentioned. I attended Trans-Canada Yellowhead Highway Association 2014 AGM planning meeting with Loran Martin. So her and I did an initial planning session where we did some brainstorming and to prepare for actually a committee meeting with members that we'll have on the committee. So that will start rolling up and ramping up. Actually, I think the day after I had that meeting, I was already emailing Ann and staff with things. So we're going to start seeing a lot of activity happening there, and it's exciting. Attended the Valemount Glacier Destination open house, and that was great. Great turnout of people there. And then I also had another chamber function. We had a luncheon with Susan Stearns and Pauline, I can't remember her last name, from Community Futures, and I had a really great meeting with them. They just were, interviewing us, asking the businesses, what other services would you like to see? What can we do to help businesses in the community? They are there and available for all small businesses at any time to contact for assistance. So it's a good meeting, and they're really trying to be in touch with the community, and they said that they will want to have a meeting with staff and council too, so we'll probably have a meeting with them ourselves. Okay. And then I had today all day Justice Institute BC emergency management training for Emergency Operation Center Essentials. And tomorrow they're going to have us actually role playing, and oh boy, I'm not sure if I'm ready for that, but anyway. So it's we were there all day today and all day tomorrow, and then I know there's 2 other days of training, and it's a different course, but I think Councillor Latimer is participating on that one. And I'm here today. That's it for me. So I had a little busier 2 weeks this time.
Right on. Well, that's great. I think shortly after the last council meeting, I got to attend the graduation of Umesh Agnew, who is a great friend of mine, and he's been a summer student of mine for a couple years at the, maybe 3 years actually, at the television station. Just a real go-getter, man. Umesh, when I left, I hired him, and then I left town for a bit. And I didn't mean to be out of communication, but if you ever want somebody to learn your job, go away and don't be in contact with them. Great kid. Anyways, it was fantastic. It was fantastic to go and see him graduate there with his family. I happened to be on my way back from CBT meeting, and I was in Prince George, so I just needed to stay over a night, so I stayed with some friends there and just went to UNBC and saw that thing. And when I was there, oh my God, I saw Romeo Dallaire speak. Yeah, retired General Romeo Dallaire. And I say for like 5-10 minutes he spoke about Facebook and stuff, and I was just like, oh God, old guys do not talk about Facebook. No. And then he blew my mind. He was talking about, I think in a really amazing way, what our duty here, or as we think about Canada, and whether it's going to survive or not, he's saying it's not good enough. We got to think about how Canada is going to thrive and what that means for other countries around the world. It's fantastic, really amazing, inspiring. And I happened to see Katy Fabris graduate there too at the same time. So this intern's really new. No, sorry. Anyways. And Katy, thanks for filling in tonight for Braden.
No problem.
And intern Fabris. What would I call
Katy.
her? Katy. Fair enough. It's your title.
Okay.
I tried to go to a CBT meeting in Rossland, and you have to fly through Castlegar, and so I drove to Prince George, got in a plane, went to Vancouver, stayed overnight in Richmond because I didn't want to bother my sister going both ways. And got up in the morning, like at 5 o'clock, got to the everything, got through security, whatever, showed up at the, got into the terminal. It's like, okay, cup of coffee, wicked, that'll be great. Get on to Castle. Flight canceled. You don't get those 300 kilometers back, 600 kilometers. And then the 2 flights and the 4 times through security. My God. Anyways. So I'm thinking that telephone looks pretty good. So I just dialed into this meeting from Vancouver. Anyways. That was disappointing. But the one thing it makes me aware of is our airport is way more accessible than theirs is. It's way better than theirs is, and it's way clearer here a lot more of the time. So anyways, in the future, if anything happens here. I got to hang out, I got to see a proposal for a small resort outside of Valemount for Willow Ranch. That's something a family is proposing, for a family, a really big operation, but in terms of the whole scheme of things, I think a fairly modest operation. Family from Holland, and great to see their interest here in the community. Today I participated in a CRT teleconference, and that's driving me nuts. Last council meeting I was here begging everybody to come to Golden with me so we could meet with the province, and then that meeting is just completely off the books. The province, I mean, it's really hard to cooperate with a bunch of other communities in the same. I'm kind of at the end of my rope. You have to bring everything together and all participate and be on the same page, but it's kind of like, I think, wow, maybe we should just focus on what Valemount needs out of the treaty independently. Anyways, that's not the way to do it, but I'm getting there. The VGD evening was amazing. Thank you to staff. I think it's a no-brainer that our staff are working really hard to make that whole thing happen. And the neat thing is kind of there's the collective wisdom and history here, because we have all these awesome documents from the Canoe Mountain thing, which was really well done. Actually, the planning component of that was really nicely done on the local government level. So it's kind of this kind of natural fit, and especially from our friends at the regional district. The regional district brought like 7 people here to that meeting, and they're all like, wow, happy to be here. Let's move our office here. And it's like, yeah, move your office here. But it's so great for them to have our back, and it puts a whole nother perspective on the regional district for me, because imagine somebody wants to do something really major up in your mountains or up in your backwoods or whatever. You know what happens typically? The municipality and the rural parts fight over who gets the assessed value and whatever else. It just gets nasty. And here they are trying to help make it happen, and they'll cut it out of their, if a boundary extension is the thing to do, they'll drop it so fast to make your head spin. They're really interested in making it succeed. So it's excellent. I want to say, nice to see the roof going on the brewery there, or that building that will also contain the brewery. Like, that's cool to see a little bit of construction happening. Awesome. Kudos to Stuart Tate for having some vision on that building. Make it last really long. What's there? Nice to see that happen. I stepped in for a small amount to the emergency planning thing.
What happened?
I had a CRT. I had an emergency. Overruled. This emergency training is not an emergency. I think logger sports happened. I don't know. I wasn't feeling well. I was feeling under the weather. Thank you.
You were missed.
Lots of people have been teasing me.
You were missed.
Good. The emergency planning thing is really good. I really appreciate that. We're just going to be going over what the most important. Well, anyways, we're going to do another hazard assessment, or I think maybe a total hazard assessment. I think for the first time, I think is the idea. Like, just anything. We know what wildfire looks like, but let's look at what's the most obvious, like hideous traffic accident with transportation of dangerous chemicals and whatever. Like, is that possible? Absolutely. Every day it's possible. Train derailment, our creek, in the age of climate, global climate change, like, is our creek going to blow one day in a way that none of us will ever anticipate? Yes, we can safely say over the next 20 years, something will happen there in Leona Creek. I mean, yeah, stuff happens. So it's good that we're getting a handle on that and getting the pieces in place. Not to prevent an emergency, but just to make sure that we're ready when the inevitable happens. And it's really good to marshal all the resources and know what we have here. Finally, I just want to thank the people that made me very sore for Monday. Christine Torgerson and Hollie Blanchette, and making sure that the Mountain Days happened.
Sylvia and Dan.
I'll get to them. But I'm so glad that it was an amazing Mountain Days. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. And my exposure to it was I showed up at 10 o'clock and paid my money for the logger sports and got suckered into a few more events than I wanted to go into. And saw, Dan and Sylvia and Lena and Brendan Taylor and like the whole Cutterback family, Brendan Taylor, Jasmine Taylor, all like sit out there all day and facilitate this logger sports thing. And it thrills me. It's really, it's an amazing thing. I mean, it was fun for me to compete as a stooge, not exactly a logger here, but I just love it. I don't think you get better than that. I think it sort of defines Valemount. So good. Okay, and
She participated too.
and Katy Fabris participated. She won 4th from last, and she asked me to say it. 4th from last in the Jack and Jill Saw competition, with another intern also from the East. So 2 Ontario people, both interns, did not the worst. Whereas I really achieved that status in the wood chopping thing. If anybody heard about
People came
that.
into the library today to tell me all about your day.
Oh, and I was hurting bad. And then I went to the, anyways, okay. No, don't go there. TV, all right.
I forgot something. I had a geocaching meeting as well,
Yeah.
and they've ordered the coins. The coins are absolutely fantastic. And I bought a GPS today. It came. I have no idea how to work it. I'm getting Paul to show me. But I signed up on geocaching.com, and now I'm one of them.
Right on.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. That's good. Motion to accept council reports. Great. All in favor? Good. Okay. We'll go to, there's no new business. We move to public comment. I'll read out the sort of the rules and regs here on public comment. Questions, inquiries, or whatever should be limited to, tirades should be limited to 2 minutes. It should be regarding an item on the current council agenda. Should be put forth on topics that aren't normally just handled at the front desk. State your name and address for identification purposes. Address your questions to me, the chair. And we'll try to stay out of debates because that's not typically conducive to listening. And just a reminder for council, we don't make any commitments during this. But anyways, with that, I'll open it up for public comment.
12 on Main Street.
Okay.
I just have a couple of questions for you. The Hotel Room Tax Committee, a long time ago, we arranged to get 10 new benches put up. They were donated by the rock company in town, local, and I haven't seen anything. I just wonder what happened to it. That's basically one of them.
Okay.
And the second thing, I just wondered, we have a company in town that is basically moving out of town because they can't get lumber to operate the sawmill. And I was just wondering if you guys could help them out to get, because we got forestry, community forestry, and they should be able to supply. They got the wood, so I can't see why I shouldn't be able to supply that, but I hope you guys will work on that. Thank you.
Okay, fair enough.
Could you repeat your name for me? Sorry.
Again?
Yeah.
Peter Felmer,
Okay, thank you.
1200 Main Street, Valemount, BC.
Thank
Both
you.
go? No.
Okay, further public comment?
David Grant. I live at 14081 Howard Road. I've been in town here about 9 years. I'm also the person who is going to be setting up the Funky Goat Eatery, which is the food truck, the temporary bylaw that we've put in. And I reiterate temporary. Long process, 4 months in the making. I'm happy that we've finally approved it. Kudos to Mr. Braden Hutchins for doing such a diligent job, making sure that all avenues were covered. Although it's been a real stressful process on myself, my family, well, my employer, whether I'm going to be here this summer or not. to help him out, be the meat manager down here at the IGA. I guess the one slap in the face on the whole thing, I think, would be is that we've got this vendor that is parked across from the town office here for the last few weeks selling carvings without a business license, and I've complained on 3 occasions. Twice today, early in the morning and in the afternoon. I was told that they were understaffed and that the gentleman was not going to be asked to move. So, of course, being quite outraged at it, me playing by the book here with everybody, I've lost out on 2 months of revenue this summer, which has put me close to bankruptcy. And I've got a hard decision to make for my current job. Do I work full-time as a meat manager and put my business on the side and work only on the weekends, and then try to keep the creditors at bay? And it's a real tough one. So, yeah, it'd be nice. I don't want to be the complainer about the particular fellow who's across from the town office here, but at the same time, it's not very fair to me when I put my application for a business license March 21st. And, but it's temporary, and we'll be up and running here soon enough, hopefully this upcoming weekend, if I have enough time to throw everything together, because it's quite an undertaking to open up a business on short notice. You have to make some gambles as to whether you're going to buy a product or not in advance, not knowing whether the business permit's going to be granted.
Thank you. Jason Alexander, Valemount. I sent on Andrew's recommendation a letter into council.
Yeah, Jason, I'll just stop you there if you don't mind. We're dealing with that letter in camera.
Pardon?
Because of the nature of that letter, we're dealing with it in camera. Yeah.
What does that mean?
That means there's a portion of the agenda that's open to the public, and there's a portion that's not. So it's deal with the one that's not because of the nature of the nature of the letter. If you want to publish the letter in the local paper or anything like that, you're free to. But
when will I hear results?
I'm not going to engage with him because that's the right thing to do. So I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to say no. Not even going to say that. So I believe I was at your house the other day and we had a long conversation about what could happen. Mm-hmm. Yeah, was that?
That's why I went on with writing a letter, and for support. And I thought it was going to be at this council meeting.
Yeah. Hurry faster. Okay. Thank you. So with that, we'll close. Further public comment? Right on. Okay, excellent.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, please.
It's a public question.
Yeah.
Melissa Beeson, 11 Andrew Cypress Road. Katie, how do you spell your name just so I can put it in my text?
It's Katy.
Katy, and your last name?
Fabris, Fabris.
Perfect. And her title here is intern.
Local government intern.
Local government intern. Thank you so much. Nice to meet you.
All right, excellent. Okay, good show. Well, I think that wraps up public comment. We'll take, yeah, well, let's just move to accept public comment. Councillor Salt, Councillor Blanchette, all in favor? Excellent, and we'll, yeah, notice to proceed in camera. Councillor Salt, Councillor Blanchette, all in favor? Done.